So if you're making a login system or doing anything with passwords in PHP, then you're not going to want to store your passwords in plain text, because then if a hacker gets access to your database, then they're going to be able to see all your passwords, log into all your accounts, and that never looks good. So you're going to want to use what's called a hash, so that when the hacker gets your database, all they see is a bunch of random numbers and letters instead of your actual passwords, and hopefully if you do it right, they can't decrypt that. So the way you do this in PHP is to start by declaring a variable to store the hash in. So now type, well, the first algorithm we're going to use is the MD5 hash. This one is not secure, by the way, but I'm just going to use it for demonstration purposes. So now you'll notice that you've gotten this long string from the word pass. And if I change this, then it changes the hash and actually says that on the end. Now, the problem with this is, of course, you can go to a site like this, put in your password, put in your hash, and all of a sudden it's found that it says PAS, because I took off the S on the end. Now, I just found this by typing MD5 decryptor. It's very easy to decrypt an MD5 password. So we're going to use what's called a salt, which randomizes the hash. So you want to make this just as many random numbers and symbols and letters as you can. You don't want to make this anything sensical. And notice that the hash is now changed, because it's been randomized with this salt. And now that we've tried it, it said result not found in the database, because it was checking all of these passwords against a database. You see, in theory, this can't be converted back into its original form, but you can create a bunch of different hashes and then check them all against a list. So it couldn't find that in the database because it's been randomized with your unique salt. So don't copy my salts, just type your own random string. Now, a much more secure algorithm is SHA-1. Oh, notice it's now longer. This is the algorithm you should be using. It takes a fraction of a second longer to generate these hashes, and it's bigger, so I guess it takes up a couple extra kilobytes in your database, and it's huge. But it's worth it for how secure this is. But what you should be doing, and the way you should be creating your hashes, is to use the MD5 as the salt for your hash. So now, it's creating the hash, and to start with, we'll just have so now it's taking your password, and then it's creating a hash, an MD5 hash. Okay, so what it's doing here is taking your password, then creating an MD5 hash with the password, and then it's taking that MD5 hash and using it as the salt for this. So it's being hashed twice. So over here, you'll see that it's changed again. And this is the most secure way I know to make a hash. This is probably the way you want to be using. I've tested this on every decryptor I can find. It doesn't seem to be able to be cracked. And you can, of course, do this over and over again. Like, I can take this and use it as a salt for an MD5 and then use the SHA-1 again. So that's all for now.